I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We are continuing our reading. We are in the New Testament still. This is the time that the disciples or the apostles are preaching the gospel and the missionaries are going out spreading the word. They have now opened the ministry to the Gentiles, starting with Cornelius, Peter opening the way. Paul is out preaching. But right now we are reading in the epistle of James, which is written in this early period. Now we've read a number of little nuggets of wisdom from him, and in chapter 2, a great discourse on faith and works, with a lot of good insight from the Joseph Smith translation. So now, in this video, we have a Joseph Smith translation. And what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. We are going to turn to James chapter 3. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven by fierce winds, yet they are turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beasts, and of all birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea, is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries? Either a vine figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. Who is a wise man, and endued with knowledge among you? Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envyings and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. The majority of this chapter is talking about the evil of the tongue. Now at the beginning, there be not many masters. That means don't try everybody to teach their own doctrine. Don't try to set yourselves up as the preachers of the true gospel, because there's only one gospel. We don't need a lot of people trying to come up with their own gospel. But then we have this whole discourse on the evils of the tongue. With it, we bless men and we curse men. We bless God, and then we curse men who are made in the image of God. And it is true. Our language is something very difficult to control, because in many ways our speech is just in reaction to what other people say and do. And to control that, to stand back and not speak, at least not to give our initial reaction, our initial gut feeling of what we should be saying, but to consider our words carefully before we speak, is a very difficult thing to do for anybody. I'm not excluding myself from that. It is a very difficult thing to do. But then we have this ending part where we talk about envyings and strifes. Where there's envying and strife, there's confusion, and man, I have to say, this reminds me so much of the modern day. We have the envies and strifes, people who are, tax the wealthy. They shouldn't have that money anyways. It should be ours. This whole idea of tax the wealthy to support the poor is a concept born out of envy. Now remember, envy and jealousy are not the same. Jealousy is not wanting other people to take what is rightfully yours. Envy is wanting to take from other people. That is what we're seeing in the modern day. James has described the modern day, and I see this even among members of the church, that there is this envy of what other people have, and they think that to be a true Christian, you shouldn't be a true Christian wouldn't want that. They would want the government to take everything from the wealthy, because a true Christian shouldn't want anybody to be wealthy. That is born of envy. That is what James is talking about, and it has created massive confusion in the modern day. Let's not get too political, but let us look at the Joseph Smith translation. We have only one correction here, and in the first verse, instead of "my brethren, be not many masters," it is now rendered, "My brethren, strive not for the mastery, knowing that in so doing we shall receive the greater condemnation." So it's not just, we don't need a lot of teachers, but it's more, don't strive to be the main teacher. Don't strive. When it says the mastery, that's not striving for excellence in ability or mastering knowledge. It is mastery or being the leader. We shouldn't have the goal of like being bishop. We shouldn't be striving to be bishop. We shouldn't be striving to be stake president. We should just be doing what we need to do, what God has called us to do. And I remember it was in a general conference a while ago, I can't remember when or who was saying, but they told how they were reorganizing the stake presidency. And the stake president was smiling, him and his wife. They were released from their calling as stake president, and their new calling was to be the nursery leaders in their local ward. They went from being stake president to being nursery leaders, and they were thrilled. And that's what it is here. I've seen other members who are, I've been trained to be bishop all my life, and so obviously I should be called as bishop. No, that's not what we need. And if that is your goal, if that is the goal we see in other religions, like the Church of England and the Catholic Church, people aspire to higher ranks in the church. And that's what James here, according to the Joseph Smith translation, is warning against. Don't be doing that. Accept the calling that God gives you, and if he gives you a calling of higher authority, do it. If he gives you a calling of lower authority, do that, and do them both joyfully and fully. But we're going to leave that one here, and we will be reading chapter 4 next, so I will see you there.